Hello everyone, it's me Varus, and in this video I'll be giving you a full tropical forecast including update on Hurricane Erin, what's behind that, and more focused on the US weather. If you do enjoy this video, please subscribe, drop a like, and please share this with all your friends. And yeah, let's get right into it. So it's been a while, but this will mark the first beginning portion of my new uploading schedule, which I'll put out sometime this weekend. So if right now what I have pulled up is the water vapor satellite loop for the Atlantic Ocean right now, and I bet the first thing your eyes seen was this right here, and this is Hurricane Erin. We'll get a closer look up on Hurricane Erin, but as you can see, it is a pretty big hurricane, at least especially with this outflow, and it is only going to get bigger and stronger as we go through the days ahead. Now behind that, you see some thunderstorm activity off the western coast of Africa. This is what we're watching that may become our next wave behind Erin that may trek similarly in our path, still pretty far out, so we'll have to see. But that's what we're also watching next in terms of tropics. If we come over here to the actual US, I know it's only the eastern 2/3, but that's where we have our main weather going on. We have this MCV located up near Iowa and Minnesota, which is causing some pretty severe thunderstorms and active weather. Down towards the Gulf Coast, we also have more thunderstorms, especially in the southeast, also getting sparked by some tropical activity and tropical moisture. And then back here, we had this one area, Invest 98L, which has just made it ashore Texas. It had a small chance of developing, but it never had a closed circulation, and it was actually moving faster than expected, so nothing ever really came out of that. So let's start on Hurricane Erin. So if we go to Erin, this is what it looks like on IR. Now, it is pretty impressive right now. As you can see, there's very healthy outflow right towards in the north side. You can see that with these this fanning out of the clouds on the north side. Really everywhere we just have some really good outflow, really marked by these bands kind of going against each other. And then when we take a better look inside the storm, you can see right here, we have an eye trying to develop, or some type of center reformation clearing is what we're trying to see right here. So if we get a better look, this is what we're watching as Erin continues to intensify and head off in a general direction of west-northwest. We're trying to see this area clear out. And what that means is we're getting further intensification, maybe even rapid intensification of Erin, that'll eventually make it a major hurricane. If we continue to look, you see some really good convectivity or super high cloud tops, which means that we're getting really vigorous thunderstorm activity on the western side of the storm. It has become more symmetrical. I mean, like in the past, we had much more convection on the south side. Now it looks much more balanced, still lacking a little bit on the eastern side, but that will fill in as Erin continues to get in a more favorable environment in the next few days. So what does the National Hurricane Center have? So as of the 5 p.m. update as of right now, new one will come out in about 30 minutes. It's right now located right here, just west, or I'd say east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands, and it has continued to head west-northwest, passing north. However, since this storm is going to get bigger and stronger, some of the outflow and the feeder bands could actually occur and cause some impacts over here in the northern island. So we're going to have to watch that. And if it does wobble south a little more and ride the southern part of the cone, that could bring even more direct impact. So gotta watch, especially for the Virgin Atlantic Islands, etc. So as it continues to pass north, you can see that it starts to take this kind of turn. And that's because out here we have a ridge of high pressure out here. Okay, and what it's doing is much bigger than this, but since we only have like half the map, I'm going to have to illustrate like this. We have this high pressure here, and we have a high pressure in the US, which is leading to the heat over here in the eastern US. So you have this high. The flow around a high pressure goes clockwise, so something like this. Okay, now what we also have is a trough, which is low pressure, kind of right over here, more north than this, but it's an upper level trough right here, and the flow around this goes counterclockwise, goes like this. Okay, so what it's doing right now, this is the best illustration I can give as of right now. Erin is continued to head west because of this ridge that's currently influencing it. However, once it gets far enough west, just east of the Bahamas, it is expected to make more of an abrupt northward turn, and that is that's caused by this trough and weakness. A weakness between the ridges is what you would call right here. So what that's gonna do is lead it away from the Bahamas, Florida, the East Coast, and even splits the gap through Bermuda. Okay, because that high pressure right here is preventing it from turning north too fast to the point where Bermuda would be impacted. Now, if you do see this is still a cone of uncertainty, so we still have uncertainty that needs to be figured out. It could trek towards Bermuda, or it could trek closer to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. But as of right now, it looks like it'll split the gap, split the uprights, and be enough away from any landmass to really affect it. Now, rough surf, high tides, rip currents, high waves will be felt all along the East Coast, especially Bermuda and some of these islands just to the south and east of Erin, or south and west of Erin. So that's what we'll have to watch. And yeah, I mean, right now we have tropical storm watches for the northern islands. I wouldn't be surprised if Bermuda maybe got one. Maybe we'd see the Outer Banks getting one. I don't know for sure. Now, you might be wondering, why is the tropical storm watches not hurricane? Because, like I said, as it's passing north, it's passing well enough away where only tropical storm force winds should be felt. Now, the hurricane will become much bigger over here, so we'll have to see how those impacts affect the other two land masses. So let's take a look at a hurricane model, HAPS-B. Models are relatively in agreement now, so I'm only going to show one. So, hold on, this is 72 hours ago. So this is 0 hours ago, or right now. And you can see right here, 996, verifying pretty well. And as you can see, it rapidly intensifies. When you see this number drop, that means the pressure is deepening and it's becoming stronger. So as you can see, it becomes 970, 960. By this point, it'd be a strong Category 2, if not a major hurricane, north of Puerto Rico. And as you do see, so real quick, I do want to mention, so right here we have a meteorological site known as the Herbert Box right here, and this site basically shows where if a hurricane crosses into this latitude longitude right here, 60 west, 20 north, it has a high chance, or some sort of chance, of hitting Florida. I've seen lots of misconception on social media saying, oh, it's going to get into the Herbert box. That means one of the Herbert boxes is going to hit Florida. There's a second one right here. It's barely going to clip both of these two. And the steering currents are nowhere near as favorable for this storm to get into Florida. So anything you see on social media about that is false. So we do see the storm. Anyways, we see the storm pass north, clipping the Herbert box, intensifying really strong. I mean, 940, well, in between north of Dominican Republic and western Puerto Rico. And as you can see as it gets stronger, a storm also likes to head more north when a storm gets stronger. And when it heads north, it also is typically when there is a stronger storm. If it's weaker, it likes to head more west. Now, we also had that high, and the edge is over here. So sometimes, if it does have good outflow, it can actually intensify that high and push it further west-northwest. Lots of factors. But either way, it's going to turn northwest because there's just still a weakness big enough for the storm. And as you can see, 936. Now it strengthens because you got warm waters. Whoopsie. You got warm waters in here. Almost virtually no shear. And it's creating its own moist bubble. So it's a very favorable atmosphere. It'll head north. Okay, maybe furthest it'll get 71, 72 west. I like this model. And it curves out. Now I do think it's a little bit more east. I do think it could be closer over here, or at least over here. Don't think it'll get this close to Bermuda. Still some uncertainty to when this turns. But I would monitor Outer Banks for tropical storm force conditions. Bermuda. Maybe if it does get up here, maybe extreme portions of Cape Cod and Atlantic Canada. But as you can see, this is the farthest it goes out as of right now. So what's behind it? Okay, what's behind it? This is mainly a tropical update. So this is what's behind it, this tropical wave right here. So if we move this forward, this is the GFS. This is only one of only 2 or 3 models that's showing this developing into something. So it's still a signal we'll have to watch. So there it is. Okay, there's Erin heading out. This is about 2 p.m. August 19th. So beginning of next week. And you can see it moving out. So what we do have to see is what environment lies after Erin. Because Erin is a big storm, strong storm, going to alter the environment for sure. Well, what I do know is there's going to be a much higher, stronger ridge of high pressure, which is going to force this more south than Erin if it does develop or become some type of investor wave or depression or storm. Okay, and that's pretty likely. Now, still stuff we'll have to see. What I will also note is cooler water is behind Erin, as Erin is going to take up a lot of this heat energy and heat content, and it could be more moist at the same time. So, but those are the 2 main factors. So here it comes. You can see it starts strengthening, and it passes kind of close like Erin, and definitely a little bit more north than Erin. I don't want to show the whole thing because I know some people might start getting hyped or oh no. But remember, this is 234 hours out, so don't get too worried or anything. But you can see it goes right into the Bahamas and right into the armpit of Florida and Georgia. So we'll have to watch. It's definitely there, and GFS has been showing that for the last few runs. Here's the one before. Here's the one before. So last run I had in the Gulf. This run I has it over here. Who knows what the next one will be? So let's see what's happen. Let's see what happens. And yeah, that's about it for this video. Major announcements I'm gonna give in the next coming days. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoy.